Welcome! Today we will be talking about lactose intolerance, our initial ideas versus what we know now.
Okay, our initial ideas for milk, we thought the main molecule was what is shown, so we obviously had no idea. Yeah.
We were so clueless that we spelled out milk with the molecule kind of things because we're clueless. Okay, but now we know a ton of stuff. We know that lactose is the main sugar in milk, and there are other molecules in milk besides that. So the main lactose is the main sugar in milk, obviously, and it's a disaccharide. It's made up of glucose and galactose, but that's not the only sugar in milk, and there's also fats and proteins included in milk. And we know this because of the foods lab. In the foods lab, we found out that milk does indeed have fats, protein, and carbs.
Okay, our initial ideas for ingestion for lactase persistent people were basically just a molecule that we drew that is incorrect. It was basically just ingested, which is relatable to our what we know now, which is basically the same. It gets ingested, and it doesn't there's no enzymes there to break it down. Um,
Yeah, there's no lactase enzymes there, and when we ingest the food, so there's no way for the lactose to be digested while we ingest the food. Um, Again, keep in mind that this is a disaccharide. So our initial ideas for in the intestines for lactase persistent people. In the small intestine, we basically thought that it started to separate itself in the small intestine, like the molecules, and we didn't really know what was happening. We just kind of thought they slowly broke down going through. Can I explain this part? Explain this part. Okay, so in the small intestine, what we know now is that there is an active site and there's a substrate. The active site is the lactase enzyme, and the substrate is lactose. And so it takes the active site takes the lactose, and it takes them in, and then it produces the products, which are two products, the galactose and glucose, and then it goes into the blood for energy.
Okay, and then in the big intestines, there are no lactose molecules present
For the most part.
for the most part. However, there's some other parts in there, which is because that's why we poop, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. An additional fact is that for fats, they're ingested along same as lactose is. Nothing gets broken down, and then the fat, yeah, when it goes into the small intestines, the fat gets digested, and then it goes into the blood, which leads into the cells, which provides insulation. Um, as for proteins,
It provides the proteins provide growth in the cell, and it makes us grow and eat like that. Yeah.
and then our initial ideas for ingestion for lactose intolerant people are the same as our initial ideas for ingestion for lactase persistent. Basically, the molecule is ingested and it doesn't get broken down.
Yes. So what we know now about ingestion for people who are lactose intolerant, it's the same thing as people who are lactase persistent. They ingest the lactose. Normally, there's no lactase enzymes there, so there's no way it can be broken down. But our initial idea, actually,
Okay. Our initial ideas for the intestines for lactose intolerant people were that the molecules in the small intestines were slowly compressing, and then once they travel to the big intestines, they are completely compressed together. However, we had no knowledge about what happened after that or how they transitioned from.
yeah, we are kind of thinking about this like it is if all of the molecules compressed, then it would cause a bump or something.
Yeah.
And we were which could cause to like diarrhea
Yeah.
and stomach pain, but that's obviously not it. So we found out in the small intestine, for people who are lactose intolerant, there's actually 4 types of lactose intolerant people, and some people grow as they grow older, they produce less and less of the lactase enzyme, and some rarely, but some people are born when they aren't when they're infants, they don't have the lactase enzyme, and so people either don't have the enzyme or they have little. So it there's not enough um, enzymes to break down all the lactose. So it goes through into the big intestine and it goes through the bacterium, gas, and acids, which can cause stomach pain and diarrhea sometimes.
Yeah. That's basically it. Right?
Yeah.
We want an A.
Yeah, we really want an A on this project, and if we don't, we'll be really, really sad. We tried really hard, and if we didn't get it, then like you should let us
Let us know.
let us know that we didn't, and we want to redo it. Okay, thanks. Bye.